الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'd like to continue with you with the advice that I'm hoping that I can continue doing it until I die. Actually, last time we have talked about how dangerous it is, halal things. If it becomes too much in our life, we have to watch out. And even Ibn Qayyim, rahimahullah, Allah have mercy on him, he said that the shaitan will come to the believers from the halal way. It becomes dangerous because it is permitted. Then you get too much involved into it, then you lose focusing at your hereafter. Actually, this is that's what everybody compete now in this life with one another. Competing, how can my business become the best? How can my house become the best? How can my income become the best? How can my life become the best? And no one ever think, how can I make my salah the best, my dhikr the best, my children to be ready for the hereafter and prepare them one day that they will die, and in the day of judgment they will come and jump on me and asking Allah to take their right from me because I did not guide them, I did not advise them, I did not show them a good example. I know maybe some of the brothers will not like that, but this is the fact. I love you. I'm away. I'm too far from you. But I am saying this from my heart. It is true. Your wife, your daughter, your kids, everyone that around you these days, one day they will not be around you. And that's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه. Everyone will be running away from you. Why? Because in that day you needed one deed so you can pass. So you go to your mother, she ran away from you. You go to your father, he will run away from you. Your son, your daughter, your relative, your friends, everybody. And actually, sometimes we think if we lose some money in this life or we lose some business that we have lost. We did not lose. Any kind of loss, as long as it is far from my deen, it is not. It is nothing. That's why even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to say in his dua, Allahumma la taj'al musibatana fi dinina. This is the important thing, my deen. Not to have any loss or I don't lose any of my deen in this life, so I don't meet you, Ya Allah, in the day of judgment with not a completed good a'mal, not good deeds. You know why? The true loss, it's in the day of judgment. Allah said it in one verse in the Quran. قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. The true losers, those who lose themselves and their families in the day of judgment. Because in that day, if you lose yourself and you lose your family, there is, what else can you do? I mean, if you lose money in this life, it's okay. You can live with it or without it. Even if you eat anything, sleep anywhere, drink little, anything, just everything you do in this life is not completed. But in the day of judgment, you go with a complete good deeds. You are a winner. And this is why, as I mentioned in the beginning, I don't want to go through so many versions of the Quran and the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because I want to talk to your hearts. I want to talk to your hearts. You and I, we know that. We know every day, We are working hard to get income to support our families, or not just to support them, to make them live a fantastic life, a wonderful life. And that's not haram. But when it becomes dangerous, that when it takes you away from your deen, when you realize that one day your emotion become too much attached to materialistic things, and you don't get upset that you lost your Fajr in Jama'ah, or Dhuhr, or Asr, or Maghrib, or Isha, and your children, you see them, they do not practice, and you get used to it. So you see the forbidden things happen in the front of you, and your heart doesn't cry for it. That's why, because you've been too much involved with the materialistic things, the halal, not the haram. Again, I'm not saying that to leave working and leave the money and just focusing on your deen. No, you have to go with both. Not only with both, you have to increase the attention to your deen, to your faith, more than the dunya. Subhanallah, when you remember, when we came to this life, we came in such a little cloth. They put us in it. And when we die, they also take everything off, and they put us in the coffin, which is some material, from cotton, worth nothing. And even the watch, they take it off your hands. The ring, they take it out of your hands. And your wallet, they will take it. Everything. The most closest people around you, they will ask how much he left behind, so we can divide it. And maybe they will remember you for some time, but after that, they will forget you. That's why do not forget yourself. I'm advising myself too. Do not forget yourself, and work harder for the hereafter. Inshallah, in the future, we're going to talk how. How can we do it? How? What is the advices that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in the Quran? He's advising us. There is nothing in the whole Quran. It says that dunya is so great. And the reason I'm talking about this, because there is nothing encouraging us to be too much with the materialistic things, and we still are too much involved with it. And there is so many verses in the Quran, but the whole Quran and the Hadith is encouraging us to be too much involved with the deen of Allah and getting to knowing who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before we die. And we are not doing that. Inshallah, if there is any advice or any issue you want to write me back, go ahead and do that, so we can talk about whatever you think that you need to guide you. May Allah guide us all. Brothers and sisters, I thank you very much. I don't want to take longer than that. Inshallah ta'ala, later on I will continue with you. Thank you, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.